Well, hi. Welcome to vlog number 9. This is a watercolor painting tutorial. My name is Jene Stroud. This week we're going to be doing Brusho Crystal Powdered Watercolor, and I'm going to finish my sea turtle series with the brown sea turtle and a whole different way to do the technique. I'm going to take you for a tour of Southern California's Coachella Valley and show you what happens when it rains all winter and the desert comes alive. It's so exciting. If this is your first time, welcome. Thanks for being here. And if you're coming back, I appreciate it. All right, let's get into the painting.
Do the intro in 3, 2, 1.
All right, here we go. I'm going to be using Brusho Crystal Powder Paint. I'm using Ost Red and Light Brown. Because Brusho has so many other complementary colors in each of the pots, you don't need to add a whole lot of colors, so I'm just keeping it to 2. Again, because each of those 2 will have like 8 more colors added to them. No one color is a solid color. Brusho is so much fun. So by adding in clear water first, it's hard to control the powder. It's easier to control the water. So by adding the water where I want the color explosions and textures to be, I can get a little bit of handle on what's going to happen when I put the particles into it. This is really fun. Now you notice I took a tissue and just dabbed off the nose there a little bit, just because I didn't want it to be quite as pronounced there. And by dropping the particles in, and a little goes a long, long ways. But by dropping those particles in first, and then I took a piece of paper and just fanned it around to brush the errant particles back into the water. And normally you would just put the water down over the whole image and draw the particles into it. But since this is a larger image, I'm going to put the water down in stages. So I did the shell and the head first. Now I went ahead and wet down the further fin. And now I'll do the forefin. And I'm basically painting with water. But you know, as I do this, I'm kind of in my imagination, I'm seeing the color explosions happen. So it's almost like I'm painting it. And then of course when you drop it in like that, the magic happens. Isn't that fabulous? Now, when this is dry, and I mean dry, like out in the middle of the desert for 3 months dry, I took a piece of dry tissue, a dry paper towel, and scrubbed off the leftover particles before I went on to the next part here, which is to do the background. So I added lots of clear water, and I'm going to go into some colors here. Notice how I let the water overlap into the turtle on the upper fin, because you don't want your backgrounds and foregrounds to look cut out. So if you can find little places to let the color bleed onto your main image, it brings them together. And just by dropping lots and lots of heavy pigment, cerulean and turquoise, some cobalts, I wanted nice thick pigment, so right here I could sprinkle the water on with my fingers and give it that really beautiful dappled look. And it makes it just look like the turtle is swimming through water. And of course, it's time to add the darks. And when you add the darks, things get very three-dimensional. And I'm putting in a nice thick paint. I'm using cerulean blue with burnt sienna just to make that good dark, and it just lifted it up. I'm going to start adding a little bit of modeling here now to give a little dimension to the shell. Going around very gently and adding some more dimension, reinforcing the values. It's really fun to watch this all come together, and you know, it's pretty remarkable that we take pigments and brushes, water and paper, and we make something that's two-dimensional look like it's three-dimensional. And of course that's all in how we fool the eye. But by giving darker shapes on the edges and lighter shapes in the contours, we make things look like they're turning the corner. And it's time to add a little bit of color to this, so I'm dropping in some cad red just to give it some little color interest and the dark under the mouth line there. And then of course always paying extra attention to the eye. A good black and dropping in just a little bit of turquoise into the eye, into the darkest part to keep it interesting. You never want to have black, what I call black abysses. And I took a credit card there and just scraped just a tiny little bit of edge of the eye, because it's so much believability. And to bring the nostrils out a little bit, a little contouring with shadows. I really love that effect in that background. I'm going to soften the shapes around the eyes a little bit and add some more. I call this a modeling part. You're literally sculpting with light and dark. And see how by adding that shadow to the back of that fin, just gave it so much dimension. It's one of my favorite parts of the painting, when you really just kind of look at it and figure, what can I do to make this more round? What can I do to make this come forward, stand out more? A little more shadow under the mouth there. A little more shadow under the shell. Some more color. Give it a little more interest. Make the back of the turtle kind of fall away with some shadow. Of course, the fun part of signing it. And there you have it. If you have any questions, the website is artofword.com. I'd love your comments. please like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. It would mean the world to me. There's a bunch of other YouTubes now. I've done a whole series with Cheap Joes, and those are available. And yeah, reach out and make a friend. I love to share.
All right, that's number 9. Hope you had a good time. I'll see you all next week. Keep believing in yourselves. There's artists and musicians in every single one of us. That's how we roll. All right, take care. Bye.